You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Hey, you're listening to Adulting with Horses, the best place to be if you can't be at the barn. We are your co-hosts and equine authors, Heather Wallace and Natalie Keller-Reinert. As crazy horse girls, we don't take ourselves too seriously in the saddle or out. We celebrate the things that make us different. Join us as we talk about horses and pop culture and get a little weird in a fun way. Thank you for being a little weird with us.
Well, Natalie, I'm back from the dead, but I may have some coughing going since I almost died from bronchitis the last couple weeks.
Yeah, you were totally missing, and I super thought about asking how you were doing.
But you didn't?
I didn't. But I thought about it so many times. And I think that that's the essence of a friendship with Natalie that people need to keep in mind.
She thinks about you, but she won't do anything?
Yep. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, in Curb Your Enthusiasm, when Larry David says, see, I think about doing nice things all the time. I just never act on it. That's me.
Well, and you're lucky you have me, who is so confident in our friendship.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh, hey, I'm alive. And you're like, oh, that's great. And I'm not offended by the fact that, like, I disappeared from life for several weeks and you didn't reach out.
And I fully texted you back immediately, too.
You did. Like, you were waiting by the phone for me to be, to reach out. But I think this is something that's important to note for all those people out there. A lot of introverts, like, we don't make the first move.
Right.
Like,
we thought we did, right? We're like, oh, I've totally talked to her recently. 6 years have gone by.
Yeah, like we totally think about doing it. You're on our mind. We just haven't like hit send. Is really what it is.
Yeah, and I will like overthink all the reasons why I shouldn't. I'll be like, oh, they are probably driving to the gym right now, and if I text them, they might drive off the road and die. Or they are definitely having a nap. It's 3:00. That's when I nap. So
for a full week, I napped every day from like 1 to 5.
I would be asleep right now if we were not doing this.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, seeing that I'm now alive again.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like I said to Corey, I'm like, I know it's a perfect napping day. It's been raining like all day, but I gotta talk to Heather. So yeah.
So that's true love right there. You've given me your nap time.
I haven't been sleeping a lot this week. I was going to fit some in. That's okay. I've still got the low rumble of thunder going, so it's all very relaxing. I feel relaxed right now.
Those are my favorite days.
I'm having a week of them where, so my favorite days are very specific. It's when it's specific to living sort of on the West Coast, which I live like a little closer to the West Coast than the East Coast, right? And when the Gulf of Mexico like sends in these like 11 a.m. thunderstorms and then they just keep coming. This is the best days. I rode Ben this morning watching this cloud come in, and then I took him in and I hosed him off. And as soon as I finished hosing him, it got really, really windy because it was really about to rain. I was like, good luck, buddy. Go enjoy the wind. Freeze to death. And then it started pouring. Perfect day as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So where I live on the East Coast of New Jersey, I have all the storms come in around 5, 6, 7 p.m. So if it's going to rain, it's only going to be in the evenings as the temperature starts to drop. That's when we get it.
And you want to go outside and sit, and it's like,
yeah, but you could go sit on your porch and watch the storms roll in, and it's lovely. But yeah, it does affect my. I was going to say riding time, but I just like literally, like, I don't ride in the summer. So that's just one more excuse for the books.
I took off most of June. It was insanely hot here. It was dry and hot. It was getting up to like 98 degrees every day. And I would think about riding in the morning and I'm like, oh God, I go outside. It feels awful out here.
Yeah.
And then the past few days, the humidity recovered. And I was going outside, I have my coffee, I'm drinking coffee, with the cats are running around the front yard. They're being maniacs. I'm like, I know it's 80 degrees and it's like 90% humidity, but the air no longer feels like it's burning my skin and my lungs because it's humid. So now I can ride. So I've started getting on in the morning, and I feel so accomplished all day long. So I feel like
Right.
we'll do these little rides throughout the summer, and then in the fall we'll go to a little show. Boop, 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 boop. I'm making minor show plans, teeny tiny.
So mine are. What the funny thing is, I committed to doing IA this year. Meanwhile, I haven't ridden in 3 months.
Yeah, I
Right?
really wanted to hear. I was like, let's talk about our show plans for the
Yeah.
fall. And you're like,
So-
I'm dying.
No, we will. But I haven't had any motivation because I've been so ill, and so I've had to take Zoe to the barn, and I'll go and I'll just sit on a tack trunk. Like, I wouldn't even groom my horses. Like, yesterday she went to go ride for her lesson earlier, and I ended up hanging out with all the barn rats under the tent for like 2 hours. I could have been in the paddock with my boys. I have zero energy, zero motivation, and I don't feel bad about it at all. Like, I do, like, they don't care. My horses don't care. They're very happy being paddock pets. But, and then I was reminded, oh shit, tonight I'm supposed to be riding, which is going to be a walk only situation. Like, let's be honest. It's going to be hot. I'm still having trouble breathing. But then we started laughing because I turned to my one barn rat and I was like, oh, are you ready to ride Ferris again? Because I've forgotten for the last 2 months that he's okay now. Right? Because I've been so out of it. And so she's like, yeah, I can ride him. And I'm like, good, because both of us can't be out of shape. And everyone started laughing because if there is anything about me or my horses you will know is probably both of us are out of shape. Like at any given time. At any given time, someone's had a break. Okay?
Yeah.
It's usually
That's always
me.
the conversation. It's like, well, I haven't been, or well, he hasn't been. Yeah, completely. Me too.
It just, I'm really, summer makes me lack in any desire to go outside in the sun. I'm sorry. I'm an air conditioned girly.
I mean, I get it. If I did not live in the shade, I don't know how much I would get done. Because going out in the sun that's no fun for anyone.
No, and New Jersey is like Florida. Like you walk outside and you get that wall of humid.
Yeah. I even as like the morning wears on, like it'll be almost 11, and because let's be honest, early for me is 10 o'clock to get in the saddle.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive, actually, and I always congratulate myself. And my circle is getting smaller and smaller because I'm staying under the tree and the sun's coming closer, and I'm like, let's do little 10-meter serpentines under these trees. We're not going to do the full ring anymore. There's sun over there now. That feels terrible. Nobody deserves that.
No, I can't get myself out of bed in the morning, which is the best time to go to my barn because anytime before 10, we have shade in the ring. And then from 10 until like sunset, it's all sun. So in the winter, that's great. But in the summer, it's terrible. And so, there's all signs point to Heather needs to sit in her pajamas in bed this summer because it's June.
Is your horse suffering from itchy, irritated skin? Don't let them be miserable any longer. Kinetic Vet's EquiShield CKHC is a veterinarian-developed solution for bacterial and fungal dermatitis in horses. Its powerful formula combines 3 ingredients to fight bacteria, tackle fungus, and soothe inflamed skin. EquiShield CKHC comes in a convenient shampoo for full-body application, a salve for targeted relief, and a spray for on-the-go treatment. For widespread infections, simply apply the shampoo, let it sit, then rinse. Follow up with a salve or spray for extra relief. See the difference EquiShield CKHC can make for your horse's skin. Visit kineticvet.com or ask your veterinarian to order today. EquiShield CKHC. Relief for your horse, peace of mind for you.
My God. Like, it's already this hot.
It's been this hot. Like, I'm hoping we've had our hottest weather of the year here because it was unseasonably hot here. It was 10 degrees warmer than it should have been and dry. Like I said, I don't like going outside and being like, oh, the wind is warm and dry. That just gives me the ick. I don't need a convection oven. If you all people in the West are into that, that's great. That is not for me. Not for me at all.
No, I got in my car the other day because I attempted to go see some clients, and my car registered 107. 107. And then
New Jersey. That's
in
not
New
great.
Jersey. And then it
Yeah.
started to my last client of the day, it started to rain and it was thundering and lightning, and we
Yeah.
decided we were going to stay out in it because it was better than the alternative of getting in
Oh
our
my
fucking cars.
God. That's really scary.
Well, it is
why
scary
were they hit by
because-
lightning? Well, because their cars were hot.
Our
What?
cars were hot, but also too, like I blame the antibiotics and all the medications I'm on because I ended up getting like heat exhaustion that day. And so I wasn't exactly thinking clearly. I ended up coming home and going to bed from 6 p.m. until 9 a.m.
You know, you have to adjust. And if it's hotter than it used to be, that's a conversation. But these the heat domes that are forming, whatever forms them, you have to adjust to them. And people are trying to live like their normal lives, especially with animals and being outside.
Yeah.
And you just have to recalibrate the way you're doing things. It's like right now there's a whole big discussion, like Chronicle the Horse has been putting out things about volunteers, like there aren't enough volunteers at events. And yeah, I love volunteering at events, but my ass is not volunteering at an event all summer. If you want to event in Florida in the summertime, that is on you and you alone.
That is a personal choice.
Exactly. Like, I don't care if your business depends on it. That is a personal problem. I am not going to go out there and melt for you.
Not even that. Like, at what point do you cancel the event because of weather, right?
Well, you certainly see racing have to cancel in New York.
Right.
We would have cancellations for... There's a specific temperature in New York City, where the carriage horses have to go in and stuff like that. And I don't remember what it is anymore, even though I used to enforce it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, please. I don't remember what I had for breakfast, and I have the same thing every day. But yeah, Naira would cancel racing. New Jersey would cancel racing in the summer. And in Florida, they just keep going. Like, guys...
No.
It's actually worse here because it doesn't cool off at night when it gets that hot.
Yeah, in the summer, it doesn't really here either. Like, if you go out at 6 in the morning, like 6 to 8, you might be okay, but it takes all night to cool off here. Mm-hmm. So it's not like the days where you're up north or you out, sometimes even in the Midwest. Like, it could get up to be 114 degrees in the shade in Kansas, but the nights get cooler because they have the storms rolling through. Right. But here... Oh my God. We had a big
pavement islands.
Oh yeah, pavement islands. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. And I got so crabby the other day, maybe because it was the heat exhaustion, but I saw someone walking their husky on the sidewalk at like noon, and it was like in the 90s. And I legit wanted to pull over and be like, what the fuck are you doing to your poor animal? Like, I'm sorry, know your breed, know your animal, know what they're capable of. Like, I worry the whole summer about Ferris because he doesn't sweat like he should, right? So even if I'm not riding, I'm there feeding him the hydration hay, giving him beer, hosing him down and leaving, right? But like, he's inside, he's got 2 fans, like, I'm not riding him in that. I'm not walking him in that. Like, I find sometimes people get this urge to like, well, I needed to ride today. And it's like, come on, like, you have to make some concessions for the weather. Like, you wouldn't ride if it was 15 degrees and icy out. Why is this better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I mean, and I've said before, like, there didn't used to be competitions regularly in Florida in the summer. That wasn't a thing. And they're schooling now for the most part. But like, there's a USDF competition down the road for me this weekend or next weekend.
Insanity, in my opinion.
It's called the Summer Sizzler. Like, no shit.
If they really leaned into it.
If anything is called Summer Sizzler, you can scratch my name off the list. I'm not there.
Yeah, no one wants to stand outside in that all day. Like, no. I'm sorry. We were talking about going to Six Flags Great Adventure because my kids are home from school. My dad's coming to visit before I go out of town. I'm like, oh, why don't we go? But there's no way I'm going at 9 in the morning and spending the day in the sun. I'll go at 4 p.m. Thank you very much. And I'll stay there till 9 p.m. And that is what we're doing. And, we have all these summer fairs. My kids want to go at 6. I'm like, no, we'll go at 8. And we'll go until, like, we're going to go after the sun. Thank you. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. Call me a baby if you want to, but my body does not do well in the heat.
more people don't than, realize, like work in a theme park for one summer and find out how many people really can't handle the heat. You're giving out water to people. People are throwing up. You're just like, God, we have air conditioning there. You have a hotel room right there. Like, please stop staying outside all day.
Right.
It's
like,
getting
know
really
your
hard on
body.
everybody.
Well, it's so bad. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten sick a couple times for being in the heat, but I've also gotten sick from being in the cold, and so I've kind of learned what my parameters are, and I try to stay within those. But yeah, I find just, oh my God, yeah, no, heat is my undoing. Like, hell, I would go to hell if it was frozen. Okay.
You're like, I'm here. Let's have a snowball fight.
What are we doing? Yeah, exactly. Like, this isn't so bad. But like, if heaven had like 90-degree days and it was sunny I probably wouldn't want to go.
No, that's fair. Especially all that sun. Nobody needs all that sun.
No, I like a
Like,
nice
I need
rainy
rain.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
It's nice
Can't
and
be
gray
too-
here now.
Yeah. My version of perfect is like anywhere between 55 and 75, sun and clouds with a nice breeze, you know?
Yeah, that sounds a bit chilly to me, but it's better than 100 plus.
Listen, I'm originally from the Pacific Northwest, so 55 is like winter for us.
You're such a citizen of North America. You're like, I'm from here, I'm from there. You're from wherever you need to be for the conversation.
I blame my dad and all the jobs he had growing up now. Yeah, but I don't know why we settled in New Jersey. I guess maybe before it was, the depths of hell.
Yeah, it was just convenient.
Yeah,
had a
but
lot
we're
of
going to be like the new
tomatoes.
Florida.
I don't know about Florida. I don't know what's going to happen in Florida. My friend down in the Orlando area just posted a picture on Facebook of this huge townhome community. And she says it's one property over from her. I'm like, one property over from where you used to live? Because where we used to live, where Ben used to live, her old place, is a subdivision now.
No.
And she's like, no, the property where I live now, where she had to go to get away from the subdivision, is now one property away from a townhome community. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in Florida. Mike, my town is about to blow up in size. And all these people are moving here, and insurance rates are just like going straight up. It's like nobody can afford to live here. So I'm just going to wait it out because I live here and this is like who I am. And so we'll just
until you have neighbors, and then Natalie's out.
But then maybe then they can't insure their homes, and there's just ghost towns around me. It'd be like Ireland has all those like ghost subdivisions from their financial crash. That's what it's going to look like here. We just like ride our horses through these empty subdivisions. Be like, oh yeah, remember when these parts are full of yuppies? And
it would be like The Walking Dead without the zombies.
It totally will be. Just these empty houses full of like spider webs. It'd be so weird. But at least it'll be quiet. And that's what counts for me.
That is what counts for you. Yeah, no.
Maybe the ocean will be a little closer and I'll get to the beach once in a while.
As long as it's not too close.
Hey, I'm on a hill.
That's true. That's true.
I
You could probably move in 50 miles and you'd still have room to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, listen, horses can swim, right? They'll be fine.
Yeah. My friend had a gator in her barn the other day.
Shut the fuck up.
She lives like in Gainesville.
She was like in the city and there was like a
Practically,
gator.
because the city's grown up around her farm. And she had an alligator in the barn aisle. Like, I don't see alligators that much up here in this part of Florida, so I was shocked.
Well, my parents live in Wilmington. Well, my mom doesn't live there anymore, but my dad lives in like the dry side of Wilmington, like on the other side of Cape Fear River. And he'll just be walking around and there's a water reservoir 2 doors down from his house. There's no ponds, lakes, streams, or anything within miles. And every once in a while, he'll just find a gator there. Like, where the fuck did it come from?
Wilmington, where?
North Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah, not
There's
Delaware.
a lot of Wilmington.
Yeah, sorry. I should have been clear.
Like Wilmington, Ohio? Like, where are we talking here?
I'm still on a heavy dose of medications, okay?
Oh, okay.
It's lucky I can even formulate a single thought.
It's wild to think about alligators living that far north. And then where I'm from on the Space Coast, they have crocodiles now. And
Really? That's
yeah,
new.
like just literally the past year, a couple crocodiles have cropped up.
Where did they come from? Like
the Everglades.
Yeah, but
so
crocodiles are from like Africa.
There's an American saltwater crocodile, and
Okay.
it's like when I was a kid and read things about alligators and crocodiles, you would see the little map and it would say they live on like the southwestern tip of Florida and maybe the Florida Keys, and that was their entire
Ecosystem.
Yeah, whatever the word is, range. And yeah, now they're all the way up to Satellite Beach in Florida, and they relocated one, and he swam back. He swam all the way home, which is really impressive. So they're kind of aggressive. So it's eaten a couple dogs. It's become a whole thing. I don't think I'd go in water with a crocodile in it. I've gone in water with an alligator in it, but I don't know about a crocodile.
First of all, why? And second of all, I cannot even imagine, like, every once in a while, I mean, maybe every couple of years you hear about a black bear showing up in a neighborhood in New Jersey. You don't usually see them that often. But, like, I would much rather, like, I'll go on a trail ride. I worry about a deer jumping out at me. I do not worry about a bear, about a crocodile, about spiders. Like, where do you live? Like, why do people live there?
The situation here is insane. First of all, the deer, I've given up chasing away the deer, and now the deer are practically in my yard. While I'm sitting in my yard, the deer are like 15 feet away grazing. 4 deer last night, right next to my front yard, just eating off of the fence. Like, there were some vines on the fence. The deer are like, we'll just take care of this for you. I'm sitting there reading, like,
domesticated now.
Oh, fucking K. And then there's fawns everywhere now. So they're breeding. I can't tell you about the spider situation, and I won't. Let me just tell you, it's intense and we're not having fun. And then bears, I have never seen a bear. But in my apartment complex in Celebration, Florida, across from Walt Disney World, there were bears getting into the trash at night. Like, these fuckers are everywhere.
Well, and then
I don't know how I've never seen one. Yeah, I just heard about a panther sighting in Polk County, which is west of Orlando.
See, I'd much rather run into a bear.
I don't want to run into a panther. I don't want to. Our panthers aren't that big, but I don't want to run into one.
I mean, I'm no offense, but like, panthers are just the ultimate predator.
Right.
So I don't care how big. It could be the size of a tabby cat. I still don't want to run into one.
Well, we have bobcats for that. And I did see one of those a few weeks ago, not at my farm, but like while I was driving, and it was much smaller than I expected.
Yeah.
It's cool looking.
I had one of my cats that I had in Queens. He was Maine Coon and like something else, and like we could have sworn, because he was ginormous, that he had part like lynx or bobcat in him.
Oh yeah,
like,
I've got one of those in my house right now.
Yeah,
one of those Maine Coon crosses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he was absolutely insanely huge. But yeah, no, I'm constantly baffled. One, it's summer and you're in Florida, that like you're alive.
Yeah,
I guess it's like wow.
When you really break down all of the pieces and are brutally honest with yourself, it's not great.
The chances of death are pretty fucking high.
Yeah, like there's a lot of situations right now that are all sort of coming together in kind of a potion or a brew of evil. So I don't really know, but I don't know where else I would be. So that's a whole other conversation, I guess, because I like it here, but I wish certain aspects of Florida were less violent and deadly.
Yeah, it's
just small things. We could just have a little less, like, fewer legs, less venom, less, not as sharp teeth, just across the board.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm planning a trip eventually. Like, it's my next big trip on my radar is to go to Alaska and do one of the Alaskan cruises, like the land and sea cruise or whatever. And like, there's less chance of getting mauled by an animal there, or even seeing one, than in Florida. And that is mind-boggling to me.
Well, it's the tropics, right? Like the tropics are they breed strange things. Like whenever when I go to England and I'm like, wow, it is so benign here.
Right.
You can there's flowers just growing out of the ground, and
They're not trying to kill you.
I walk around, I don't see any, we have something here called tread softly, which is this horrific nettle. And I know they have nettles in England, but I've never touched one, thank God. And I always wear socks like that I pull up past my ankle in case I go near one. But they're right out in my field. I've seen deer eating them. And those things, it's supposed to hurt like 7 hells if you touch one of those. Like, they have little spines on them. And then, oh, there goes Ben. Hi, Ben. And it just, yeah, you're going to England, you're like, oh, look at this. And they're like, oh, that's a friendly spider. And then the birds flutter down and land. And, oh, look at the birds. Nothing's trying to eat me. It's so gentle.
Yeah.
There's no rattlesnakes.
Well, and so
you don't go on your back porch and find a rattlesnake that won't leave, and then it goes in a flower pot, and you're like, should I just scoop up the flower pot with a shovel and eat the flower pot? And you don't, and then it takes a whole day to get rid of the rattlesnake. They don't have any of that.
No.
Why don't they live there where it's gentle?
Well, I question your sanity all the times. So
thanks.
So you said, like, you know, you're planning on showing this fall. I'm planning. I need to get my ass in gear, which is, I'm in the negatives now. I have gone to the gym a handful of times, but like I haven't really ridden. So like, how do we do this? How do we prepare for the fall show season when it's like too hot and dangerous, frankly, to ride?
I think that a summer maintenance plan with lots of walking is the way to go, because you can walk your horse fit.
That's true. I was talking about that today.
Right? Like, I think the hard part is always getting. It's like if you had a groom and they walked up to the house and they were like, "Come get on your horse," you'll be like, "Oh, okay," and you'd go get on your horse. The hard part is that arduous 10 to 15 minutes grooming and saddling, or even worse, going to get your grooming kit and your saddle. And you're like, oh God. It's so hot.
The first step for most people is you have to like hop in the hot car and drive to the barn.
So I think that it's a treat system, because we give our horses little treats, right? They deserve little treats.
And so do we.
We also deserve little treats. And if I leave my property, I deserve a little treat. So if you're going to the barn, you need to think about what good thing that drive will provide you. And if you don't want to spend too much money, then you buy it ahead of time. You know, you like
positive a nice reinforcement for the horse owner.
Yeah, if you like a nice little drink, then have that drink. You know, like you like vitamin water or something. You don't want to stop at 7-Eleven and always get that. So you buy a case of vitamin water. Or I like, sometimes when I'm driving somewhere and I don't want caffeine, I have a little LaCroix. And I'm like, I'm having a little fizzy treat. And I'll drive along drinking my fizzy treat, and it makes me happy. So you have to, positive reinforce that drive. So you have something to look forward to.
See, I like that. And then what about devil's advocate? What about if you're okay with the drive, but then you get there and you're like, I'm tapped out? Because that's where I've been lately. I've been like, I've been able to get there, but once I get there, like, I don't have any energy to like groom, tack, or mount.
You need a support system. So in your case, you have barn rats.
I do.
Who just want to talk to you. Why are they not tacking your horse up for you? Ooh. Or saying, Heather, come ride with us. Or we'll ride with you, Heather, which would be really great. So you have to build your support system if you have other boarders hanging out with you.
So I could say, well, let's have a chat, but let's do it on the ponies.
Yeah, because we got to walk. And we got to get fit. So you got to go out and you got to walk for 40 minutes and get that horse walking. And once you're mounted, you're like, I'm doing this for 5 minutes, right? And then once you've ridden for 5 minutes and your horse is starting to pick up and look around, you're like, oh, okay, so maybe we'll bend a little bit. No, maybe we'll do some halts. And before you know it, like today I did 30 minutes and we were doing really nice square halts at the end of it. We never broke out of a walk. We never even considered trotting. And it was a great ride. It was a fruitful ride.
And then how do you feel about if we carry a little bum bag?
Yeah.
And then also have a little treat in there for us because we did such a good job riding.
I think that's an amazing idea. Like treats.
Like I keep cookies in my saddle pack for the horse. Like,
yeah. Where's the
We need-
Chips Ahoy for you?
That's right. We need to think of fun little non-melty treats
Mm-hmm.
like gummy bears.
Fig Newtons are really yummy.
Okay, Fig Newtons. I do like a good peanut M&M too. You know,
I love a
and those
peanut
are hard to
M&M.
melt. And
Mhm.
you know, maybe we do like the little Halloween fun size type stuff, and we just like it's one for you for the pony, and then one for you as the rider. And
I
like it's
love
like a good
that
job.
idea.
Yeah,
I think your horse would like it too. They'd be like, hell yeah, we're having treats.
I think they would love that. Sometimes
Mhm.
I treat myself with one of Ferris's beers, so I'll do a one for you and a one for me. And Guinness is meant to be warm anyway, so it's like a win-win, right?
Yeah. And it's healthy. It's giving you iron and electrolytes. You know, at least that's what doctors in Ireland used to say. So seems legit to me. So
well, and that'll be good too when I'm done with them. I just got to finish my medication, but I think I might have to implement this little treat system.
I think it's a really good system. So you reward yourself for getting in the car with a nice little drink, and then you get to the barn, and you have to, you have to tell people like, look, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna support each other and get out and walk our horses around, and we'll gab, and we'll eat treats the whole time. And then somebody one day it's gonna say, you know what? It's not that hot. And you'll say, you're right. And I'll say, let's try it. And you'll be trotting
Before we
in no
know
time. And then you'll trot twice around the arena, and your horse will be like, I am so goddamn tired. And you're like, me too. But you'll have accomplished that much more. I'm in favor of it. Like, chill summer is the way to go.
Yeah, no,
And
I
you
think
work on all that
good.
basic stuff.
Well, and that's the thing. I was talking to somebody, a client, and they were not riding their horse more than the walk trot, right? And so they were asking about specific exercises they could do on the ground, and I gave them all these things. And why? That's all stuff that I could be doing actually if I don't want to mount up. And
Right.
yet, for some reason, it never occurs to me when I am there. And I'll be honest, Delight could use a little bit more attention because he's basically feral at this point. He comes to me for hugs and kisses, and then he's like, see you later. And he, because he just hasn't had regular work. So maybe we gradually get back into some of that stuff too by just doing groundwork, little treats for him, treats for me, and then mounted work with the other boys.
Because groundwork, you don't want to do more than 10 minutes.
No.
You
don't need to.
That's nothing. So if you just look at it like that, like, I'm going to spend half an hour with this horse. I'm going to groom him. We're going to go out and do some treat time. And then I'm going to bring him in and give him a little shower and make sure he's comfy and has all of his ointments and his unguents. And that's that. That's a happy horse that doesn't need to see me again for 2 days. Right?
Yes.
I'm also a firm believer in the every other day thing is totally good.
Yeah. And sometimes that's the thing. Sorry. With multiple horses, sometimes I can get into the hyper fixation where like I hyper focus on one versus the other, which is not great. And it's something that's a good idea. Like if I alternate like Ferris then Delight, then I kind of, give myself a little grace there too. And then, because that's kind of what it is. I think sometimes I get like in my head, like, oh, I have to be riding, so I should pick Ferris. Or no, I should, I only have to do groundwork, so I should do Delight. But in reality, they could both benefit from my attention, really.
They really can. And they're not stupid. And like Ferris knows what he's supposed to be doing under saddle. So, you're not really training him so much as you're getting him fit. You're tuning him up, that kind of thing. So he doesn't need that every single day.
No. And in fact, he actually does worse if he gets daily. Like, Ferris's sweet spot is maybe max 3 days. If I do it too often, even the third time is like he might get a little spicy because he gets sour.
Yeah.
Whereas Delight, well, he's the same, but he likes the attention. So like, so if I'm saying I could go to the barn 3 to 4 days a week, so let's say I could go 3 days a week, then Ferris can get me 2 days and Delight can get me 1, and that's beautiful.
Right? And the rest of the time they're just horses. Everybody's happy. Yeah.
I know. And that's manageable, and that's something that like, because sometimes, I don't know about you, but I get ahead of myself and I start to think about all the stuff I have to do, and then I get in this like functional freeze state where Like, and again, I've been there for a couple of weeks where it's just easier not to do anything, which is not healthy for anybody.
I think the only way I'm working through that at this point, especially on days like today where I've had like 5 tasks to accomplish, like back to back to back, and then it's not like short things. When I say a task, I'm not like, well, I also have to sweep the house. It's like
I'm one of your tasks, aren't I? Am I on your list?
Recording was a task that had to be done. It was like, okay, today I need to. I got up and I went outside and I started writing a journal every single day, and it's been a great help. And at the end of the journal entry, I'm like, okay, today I need to. And it was like, I need to ride Ben, and then I need to write 500 to 1,000 words on this project, and then I need to go to the gym, and then I have to take a shower, and then I have to eat lunch, and then I have to record, and then I have to write a Patreon thing, and then I'm done. So it's a long day. That's like a 9 to 5 day for me, which is super long for me. It's like, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I worked on something for an hour, and I was like, whew, I'm beat, and I read for the rest of the day. So
I've been there recently.
So to pull a 9 to 5 today is like, oh my gosh, I still have to write my little Patreon thing, but I'm actually halfway through that because we delayed beginning half an hour from when I thought we were going to start, and I snuck in 300 words. So, but when I write it down and it's in order and I can kind of see like, this gets an hour, this gets an hour, this gets an hour, then I feel much more focused. And I hate to say it again, but I'm going to say it again. Goddamn, working out is just clearing my brain and giving me energy. I'm so sorry to say it. I know.
No,
please don't unsubscribe. It's true.
So I gotta. So before I got sick, I even did go one time while I was sick
to the fancy gym.
I went to the fancy gym. It's like the Gym Country Club. But all I've done the entire time I've been there, every single time I've gone, which has been a handful, since we joined, is walk on the treadmill to do like a low cortisol kind of workout.
Yeah.
And then and stretch. And I feel so much better for like days after. It's and it's like, oh, I remember why I used to be a dancer. I remember why I used to be fit, like, and I would work out 6 days a week. And it's like, oh, the little spider webs are clearing from my little brain and body. It's just, again, for me, it's that the initial getting there, like making the time and going.
Yeah.
But I do say, like, if I can keep up my walk workout, and then I could keep up Ferris's walk workout over the summer, then we maybe just have a chance to do some kind of competition this fall. And I mean, he'll probably be someone's IEA horse at our show in November. And then I'm obviously going to try to do the IEA, which is crazy that I'm still going to attempt this, but it's going to be fine.
When does it start?
So it starts in November is our first show. Our signups are by July, and we do have a team. We've got at least 3, and we might have 4 this year for the adults. So
I feel, I mean, November, to take an easy summer and then start ramping up in September and October, please.
Yeah. But if I do my walk workouts and I get stronger in my core, in my body, then even if I just ramp up the riding in September, right, I will already be ahead of where I am currently.
Oh yeah, it makes such a difference. And I've started, if I ride and do a little bit of posting work, but even today I didn't try. I just walked, and it was still, it loosened me up so nicely that like an hour and a half later when I went to run, it feels so much better to run. Like I can go faster, I can go longer if I ride first. And I didn't think, I thought that was very counterintuitive, but it seems to just be a warm up.
Oh, nice.
That my legs really like. So it's worth a thought if you ride in the morning and then be like, all right, now I'm going to go work on the treadmill and I'm going to like hustle.
Well,
do
and
a
so
fast
I think
walk or something.
There's something to it, like where if I
can't straighten my leg right now, but that's a whole other story.
You're just too much exercise, Natalie. So I am very much more organized and motivated in the mornings. So I'd rather get up at like 6 or 7, do my physical exercise, whether that's be riding or working out or whatever, because I find that around 2:00 I start to hit a wall, and then my brain. So I'm not a night person. Like I'm definitely a morning to middle of the day. And the kids just finished school, so I'm hoping once I get back from England that I can actually, maybe I'll just work that into my schedule. Like I'll work clients around me getting up in the mornings and doing these things.
Oh, yeah, you should totally put yourself first and put the clients like
I'm
in
sorry.
all the spaces in between.
Put myself first. I haven't done that in 15 years. I haven't done that in 15 years.
It's time. Trust me, you get used to it.
Well, it is the summer of Heather, like in the sense that like I am making choices that all put myself first. It's a self-care summer is what I'm going to say.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's probably just what I need to do. But maybe I do need to pull out like a little daily planner thing and just kind of
do it.
Yeah.
I love
and
the
then
self-care
I could check
summer.
it off and feel
That's
like
a great idea.
Yeah,
of course.
I keep saying that, and then you know how many times I lose the daily planner? Like every time.
I love buying a nice hardcover planner, and I don't always use it. But then, like right now, it's sitting on my desk, and I'll just write in order what I did during the day. Just go, did that. Went to the gym 4 times this week. Hell yeah, I'm a queen.
Hey, that's amazing.
yeah. So,
all right. So I think we've established Florida is hell.
Hell.
Walking in summer, whether it's on the horse or not, is great to set you up for success in the fall. Everybody needs positive reinforcement, including us. And that Natalie goes to the gym and it improves her writing. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. And I'm writing less this summer too, because I'm only working on one project right now, and that's making my writing better. So everything is better. Everything is better.
So that's amazing. Okay. Maybe I just need to make some changes and implement those.
The morning journal is pretty chill. You should try it. I really like it.
Yes, actually, I do need to do something like that. I've been thinking about doing some morning yoga as well, just to get me kind of up and flowing.
Like, I hate doing things in the morning. Like, I know you can get up and be like, I'm going to do some yoga. And when I get up,
you're not like that.
No, it makes me mad. I'm like, I want to get up and drink some coffee and sit. That's what I want to do. So that's what I do. But I open up my journal and I write, and that motivates me to get going. And sometimes I just bitch in it. Sometimes it's just like, I'm mad at this person and I'm going to write about it. And I really do. And I'll write all the things that I don't like about somebody, and then I'll feel so much better. Like I got all that out.
One of these days that's going to accidentally get published and everyone's going to have to run.
It's handwritten.
Probably smart.
I write everything thinking they're going to laugh at this when it's published someday, but I'll be dead, so I'm not worried about it.
That's fair. I'm going to find it in your safety deposit box.
I'm going to do like Ted did in How I Met Your Mother, where he's got a box that says for my biographer, and it's got all of his pertinent info in it.
Oh my God. I think that's amazing.
If somebody needs to write a biography of me, I will have everything ready for them. I don't want to have to work too hard. Very interested.
Maybe I'll write it for you one day, because apparently I'm really good at that now.
Are you going to live longer than me?
I mean, no, because you go to the gym more, you're definitely healthier.
Me too. Man,
should we switch to our adulting wins of the week?
Oh man, what isn't a win of the week? What isn't? Let me think. I'm trying to think of something that I directly influenced. I'm having a really good week in terms of weather. Like, it finally started raining and my grass is growing.
That's a win. You don't have to influence that
I did influence it. I just waited for it and was very grumpy whilst waiting. And so now my pasture is open and my horses are eating grass part of the day, and I feel much better.
Oh, that's
much better. Much better. Yeah. How about you?
So I have two. I have the big one is that I'm finishing my medication and I've showered this week. So like, woo! I feel like I'm rejoining the living after 2 weeks of literally not being anywhere. Like not on social media, not on email, I've been in my little bubble. But I have a second one that's really big deal. I came up and found a whole host of emails from my publisher, from Trafalgar Square Books, because, we've got this book coming out in August, and all the blurbs are coming in, and BZ Madden, Georgina Bloomberg, and Carson Kressley have all said nice things about my book.
That is wonderful.
I mean, mostly it's about Sid,
my goodness.
but BZ said she couldn't put the book down, and I'm gonna. So now we're best friends, and she hasn't even met me yet. So it's like, oh my God,
I can see you two together. Please introduce me.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to walk up to her the next time I'm at an event and be like, you read my book and you liked it.
She'll be like, my working student read your book and told me what to say.
I'm going to be like,
we don't have personal assistants. We have working students.
Now I need your phone numbers so we can go hang out. Thanks.
Yeah. There's a new barn buddy for you.
Yep, exactly. I mean, obviously, we're just going to hang out. So,
Yeah.
Clearly.
Well, I think you might have to write an addendum from Paris.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Sid's going to be finding out in the next couple of weeks if she is part of the U.S. team.
Yeah.
So I am not allowed to know before the world knows because they're very, very strict. But you never know. If suddenly you see me posting pictures from Versailles, yeah, it's going to be a good one.
And because I never text you, I won't know until I see your pictures
That's
on
true.
Facebook.
I'll be like,
oh, where the hell is Heather? I thought we were going to talk this week, and then you're all like in Paris.
That's right. Exactly. If you don't know, you know. See, now you're going to regret not texting me to see if I'm alive.
Listen, I have a lot of regrets about the texts I haven't sent, to be perfectly honest with you. There's so many texts I wish I have sent over the years that I did not, and full on lost friendships over it, and I can't change my spots.
Okay, listen, you will never, I will never judge you because honestly, I have friends that I'm sure I've lost over the years because I am not ever the one to initiate the text message.
Right.
All right. I'll be thinking about them. I'll be wondering how life's going. And then a year will pass.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh shit, I never reached out. Meanwhile, I totally thought I did. Right.
Or it just doesn't feel that long ago.
Well, and it's not personal. It's I think it's for me, it's like the out of sight, out of mind kind of ADHD things, like object permanence, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's in front of my face and I know and I know like it's like if I have this wedding coming up, oh, I'm going to England, I should probably reach out to the people I'm going with and just make sure we're all going. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like my girlfriend is texting me pictures of dresses. I was like, oh yeah, but like it's one of those things where it's not personal. It's just, our brains get busy and also we're closet introverts, right? Like,
yeah,
we're happy not talking to anybody. It's not personal.
Mm-hmm. We're just floating along in our little bubble, like la 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 la.
And yet here
la.
we are doing a podcast that is listened to by like tens of thousands of people.
Most people that will ever hear me.
How are you guys doing out there, by the way? Are you still listening?
Tap, tap, tap.
Exactly.
Tap on the glass. No, they're gone. It's just us.
We've lost them.